Hello there, how are you keeping? Alrighty, so in the last episode there we were kind of working on our little shelf here, and I dug out underneath here so we can get our rock truck a little bit further in there where we're actually making progress through this tunnel in the side of the hill here. So we kind of left ourselves with a large overhang here, and I'm not really too sure how I'm going to get rid of this without obviously, explosives. But what it is pay dirt, so what I want to try and do is throw a couple of explosives up there and see if we can't get a couple of easy loads of pay dirt here without using that new loader. Now the new loader, it is a heavy machine and it does move a lot of dirt there, so I'm definitely going to be getting back into using that here in shortly, depending how this goes. If this goes well, we may end up doing this for quite a while. So let's just try one ant for there for now. And okay, we missed. Let's try and center it a little bit more there. If I can get myself back up on the back of this lorry here, or this truck I should say. So let's try a little bit more to this side. And where did that dirt go? Is it under my rock truck? It is. That seems to be the same amount that was there before. Alrighty. Let's just go ahead, lay down a whole lot of info up over the truck here and see if we can't get a full load. Or a partial load. Don't want to go too crazy and create a huge pile here, but let's try one here, 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 here. And let's do one here as well. So, let's go. Okay, safe to say then that that doesn't work. I got a little bit of a mess here that I can clean up, but do I have some drainite? I do. Let's go ahead and get rid of this real quickly here. Kind of reassess how I'm going to get this overhang out of here. Alrighty, while my truck is in position here, I'm going to go ahead and grab the loader and get ourselves a full load of pay dirt down to that facility. Let's get this in position here. And I kind of want to park it up sideways there. We may in fact be able to scoop quite a lot of that overhang out with our loader. It does have quite a reach there on the arm. Alrighty. And one more to go. No. Beautiful. Alrighty, so the unconventional mining isn't going to work. That's a shame. I had high hopes for that. I have seen in clips and stuff you can load up the conveyors there if you throw some info overhead them. But I guess it's a different physics there for the truck. Now this new machine, it is quite impressive. The only thing that I don't like is how slowly it crawls up this hill here. It is painfully slow. But I guess it is to be expected. It is heavy machinery and we are moving quite a lot of dirt. I think the L11 definitely still has some uses around the mine here, so I'm not going to be selling that anytime soon. That is for sure. Alrighty, so let's try and scrape a little bit of this into the back of our truck here. There we go. See if we can get a little bit more of that there higher up. Can go higher again perhaps without driving over the edge. It's a little bit tight there on space, so let's try and reassess what we're doing here. And yeah, as you can see, that truck is in a better position, but I do need to move that bottom shelf in more, I would say. Might need a little bit of turning room here as well, although it doesn't seem too bad there. And that truck is pretty much full, I would say. Okay, and we're kind of digging another full bucket there. as we're unloading that. Alright, there we go. Let's go ahead and call that a full load. Now I did a clean out at the end of the last video as well, so our little warehouse down there, the smelters are in full production at the moment. So we should be gaining experience here at a reasonable rate. Our next upgrade that I'm looking at here is in fact another rock truck. It is just over twice the capacity of this one. So I'm interested to see what that will look like here with our little setup. Hopefully this platform I have up here is big enough for it, or large enough for it I should say. Alright, let's park this up just under this overhang here, see if we can't get a couple of scoops into this. Get up there, my huge vertical leap. Alrighty, let's scrape a little bit of this into the truck there. There we go. A little bit higher maybe. Bit of forward movement there. There we go. Okay, so we're kind of in a tight situation here at the moment. Let's maneuver our way out of this. Scrape a little bit more of that. Ah, that bucket is empty. Okay. So I may just have to get up on this mountain here and lay down a whole lot of drainite. We'll see how this progresses for now. Go ahead and get ourselves a scoop of gravel there, why not? Nice high one. But you can see my logic on trying to move as little as possible in this big loader here. Trying to get my truck right up beside it if possible. Let's go ahead here and get one more scoop of gravel perhaps. That bucket down. Let's go in with a little bit of speed here. There we go. There we go, that is nice and full there. Let's reposition ourselves, get this load dumped off, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and start blasting here. Oops. A little bit tight to maneuver, but it's not too bad. I expanded the ramp a little bit there as well, give ourselves a little bit more room to play. Alrighty, let's park our little rock truck up here and relative safely, and let's get up top here and lay ourselves down a bunch of explosives. And I think we can go ahead and start laying down on this top layer of frost here all the way from the bottom. Eventually we're going to be clearing out this way as we expand our operations here. The drainite is relatively cheap, so we can be plenty generous with it. Why not? Oh, don't fall off. Okay, so we appear to be over where I want to be now. So let's just go ahead and explosive the hell out of this. All of this needs to go one way or the other. Alrighty, let's get down here. Can try and throw some underneath there as well, why not? Let's get ourselves up onto this platform here, make it a little bit easier. If I can get up there, that is. Just about can reach there without having to jump up. Okay, this is not going to be ideal. We're going to have to come back for a second pass with this Draenei, maybe even a third or fourth pass. Okay, and that's all of them laid out. Let's go ahead there and blow that. Let's get myself a little print screen here with that dynamite going off. There we go. I should have waited at the top of the hill here. I'm taking it from the wrong angle. Okay, I mean, that's not too bad. That's quite a lot of what I wanted to get done there. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's get ourselves back up there and start blasting again. Go ahead and buy a whole bunch of these. We use them all the time. Oh my god, almost fell. And I am falling. It's okay, let's try and get back up there from the top here. If we can. Let's get onto the back of this loader. Yeah, there's no way I'm getting back up there, but that's okay. We can hopefully get under here with a little bit of jumping. Or a little bit of jumping, says I. Quite a lot of jumping. And this is going to look awful. Going to be floaters all over the place, I'm sure of it. Let's just get as many explosives. A couple of pixels floating in there. Not a whole lot I can do about those at the moment. But that's okay. We can go ahead and take a chunk of this middle bit out with us. It's a shame to blast the pay dirt, but we're kind of rolling in cash at the moment, I would say. Alrighty, let's get ourselves up top this time. We have a nice little platform over here that we can watch from, actually. Alright, so fire in the hole. And I thought it went off in the sequence that you laid the dynamite or the Draenei out, but it felt a little bit more random this time. Yeah, there's no way that this is the sequence that I laid those explosives out in, but that's fine. Okay, quite good progress here. Let's try and get rid of some of this crap here floating. Will drive me nuts. Alright, let's go ahead and blow that, see what we're looking like. I think I just need to go ahead and get myself up top here again to make blasting some of this a little bit easier. Got those 2 floaters at least, that will help. Got a couple more in under here. There we go. Get rid of those real quick. Alrighty, let's do one more pass then with the explosives and we should be looking pretty decent here, I would say. Go ahead here and get this kind of a higher part exposed. Blasted, I should say, not exposed. Already did that one. Okay, so we can kind of pick and choose here where we want to remove some of this ice now. Not looking too bad in my opinion. Reasonable. One down there, one down there. Continue to work back this edge. Okay, so we're nearing the part that I need the most material removed. So let's actually, don't fall, don't fall. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and blast the hell out of this part of it. A floater in there, and that's try to click on this one as coming down. Oh, we got it. That was lucky, I would say. Alright, let's get ourselves back up onto our viewing platform here. Fire in the hole. Okay, and that's not actually too bad. We have a little bit to remove here. But once that is gone, I'm happy enough to call this kind of at least in a state that we can safely work under here. That truck is expensive. The last thing I want to do is have a huge cave in it and lose it. I know that's not possible, but that's how my mind works at least. Okay, we do actually need to get up there one more time. How is this wall looking here? It's not very pretty, but it is no major overhang. There's a little bit of an overhang there. We can go ahead and try and blast this, why not? So we're gonna have to jump a little bit there. Yeah, can't get that from the bottom. No problem. And let's continue to work this ice back. Why not? We're up here. Okay, get those floaters. There we go. Like absolutely sure that those are blasted. We can go ahead and take down some of this. We're going to be expanding this bottom shelf in this way. So we're going to be blasting up here at one point or another. Let's try and jump up to the top here if we can. Be so kind. Alright, let's get some on this top layer of ice there. Alrighty. Let's get ourselves to safety as we jump off a huge cliff. Fun little game this. You can do some things to keep you entertained for several hours, I would say. And I like the aspect of kind of continually progressing. There is some huge machinery that we're going to obtain at some point as long as we stick to it. Keep grinding that pay dirt. Alrighty, how is that looking there now? Let's get ourselves over here. Still a bit of an overhang there. I can go ahead and blast some more there. I didn't actually intend to blast this much, but it's just how it goes, unfortunately. Do actually need to get myself up top there to get rid of those floating particles. So let's get back up top here and do one more pass. That was a mistake, obviously. Jumping to the side. There we go. Let's get ourselves back up here. Throw some down drainite as we move here. Ah, come on, get over that lip, please. You athletic human being with this huge jump and you can't step over some ice. Questionable. Okay, and I need to go back again. That is unfortunate. Alright, let's try and be safe this time and not be falling off the edge of a cliff the whole time I'm up there. Oops, come on, get up. Ah, come on. I'm bouncing back as I jump forward. Okay, let's try and get up there. There we go. Okay, I need to stay up higher, I believe. Since we're up here, let's go ahead and remove some of this crap material. Alright, I kinda need to get a little bit further down here. Oh no, don't fall. There we go. Can we get you from here? There we go. Beautiful. Alright, let's get ourselves to safety here. Excuse me. Alright, fire in the hole. And we are down the moving back up the hill there with that chain of drainite. Very nice indeed. I'm happy with that. Okay, I left a little bit there, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. Like I say, I'm going to be back up there blasting at some point anyway. Alrighty, let's get this rock truck backed in here and get it loaded up with a load of gravel here. Alrighty then, let's get our rock truck loaded here so we have a little bit of overhang on the back of the bucket or the bed of that trailer there. So let's knock all this overhanging material down into it. Get ourselves a nice fast load there. Scrape a little bit of the top there with my bucket. Okay, it seems that's about all we're getting off it. Knocking a little bit more into it there, that's nice. Alright, let's make some forward progress here. We're kind of well set up there. Possibly get to the other side of this mountain through this tunnel today. We'll see how it goes. Getting back in some more solid rock there as well, so we're going to blast a little bit here in a minute. More blasting. Probably sick of it by now. With a more controlled blasting, I should say. The drainite there is just kind of whack as many down as you can and delete that dirt. Get a nice low scoop here. A little bit of speed, but you don't want to go fast, that is for sure. There's all kind of craziness going on with my rock truck here. It doesn't like being parked there, that's for sure. Yeah, we're getting all kind of dirt falling into the back of it there, so let's go ahead and empty that out and we'll go again. A little bit dark, let's get those lights turned on. Safety first, as always. I do have the nighttime setting of the game turned to the lowest amounts that we can have, but it does seem to last forever still. Even though to me it's not that dark, but on the recording it is quite a lot more dark than what I'm seeing. So that is something that I'm definitely trying to keep in mind. Okay. Nice easy scoop there. Let's try and get a little bit more from this top here. Some solid rock above us. Now I'm curious, if that solid rock is our ceiling, do we still need ceiling support to stop cave-ins, or like will we get the caving animation with the solid rock? I'm curious as to see how that will go. Oop, that is very, very dangerous. We somehow have a full load in our bucket from doing that. And it would be nice to get 2 more buckets in here, but this may be the last one. Let's see how it's looking. Did I miss? No, it is still in my bucket. There we go. I think we can get 1 more in here. I'm gonna attempt to at least. Let's go ahead and scrape this little bit here on the side as we come in. There we go. That's nice. we go, we're kind of knocking all sorts of gravel and dirt into the bed of our truck there. Let's try and get rid of what we've in this bucket. Okay. And that's a huge load of gravel. My biggest one to date, I would say, almost certainly. Yeah, there we go. Oh, a little bit left there. It's definitely something I need to work on, the angle that I'm coming back in there for positioning. Let's just back that up there, and that's nice. If I can get out of my truck here without killing myself. There we go. Alright, let's get some forward momentum again here. We'll take a couple of high ones. So I think I'm gonna need to get some roof support into this tunnel here pretty soon. We're getting deeper and deeper into the side of this mountain here. We will get another load or two into this truck before we think about that. Alright, let's take one right down the middle here. Let's go in with a little bit of speed there. Okay, that's good. There we go. A bit of a middle one. Scoop. And cut up on the side here. But eventually all this left side is going to be dug out. Alright, let's try to be a little bit greedy here and get one more bucket into the back of that truck. I'm in for this chunk here that's kind of very inviting. There we go. Let's align ourselves a little bit better there. Get this into the front of that bed. There we go. That's beautiful. Floating particle there in the sky. I'm not sure how I'm gonna deal with that, to be honest. Other than just ignoring it, pretending it's not there. But I promise you I'm not staring at it every time I pass it. And I do really like this rock truck. I think I'm going to keep it around the mine here. It's kind of partnered up with my tunneler there, as it fits exactly in my tunnel below. So I think I have no choice but to keep it, no matter if I like it or dislike it. But it's a nice machine. It's very enjoyable to use, I would say. Alrighty, so we kind of backed it up there a little bit far. Let's grab ourselves a scoop here to give ourselves some swinging room. There we go. We can just lift the bucket here and probably dump all sorts of gravel in. And I'm messing this up. Okay, that seems to be about all we're gonna get there. And that is fine with me. Alright, let's get ourselves a couple of higher scoops out of this gravel ahead of us. There we go, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Let's go ahead there and take the lower one on the left side. Give our wheel there a little bit of room to actually get into that wall. Alright, let's lower that bucket. Align ourselves pretty well here. Come in with a bit of speed. Kind of threw us all over the place there as soon as I hit that piece of gravel that I actually want to get. Alright, teeth down into the concrete then, and some forward momentum please. There we go, that's what I want. And that is looking good. But yeah, like I am curious, I know at the start of the tunnel there where that pay dirt is, there is a little bit of the cave-in animation going on. But here where it is rock, I'm curious as if we need support. In my mind, if we're like blasting through rock, it is a, you know, it is stable, right? It's not going to collapse on us. So I think I may leave the mesh roof off this tunnel. As you can see there, where did that come from? That kind of looked like it was coming from the rock. Okay. Anyway, let's get ourselves another couple of scoops. I'm not gonna get another one in there, but we do need to get a little bit of info out here. So let's go ahead and change those out. There we go. We don't want to go crazy here. It does have twice the radius, but it is reasonably cheap. Let's go ahead and blast that then. In preparation for our next load here. Oh, I'm lost. There we go. Alrighty, let's line you up. Nice big dump deck for a nice big rock truck. I need to get this loader down here into this lower level and clean this up a bit. It's a little bit janky there, but it's fine. It is functional, that's all that matters right now. Alright, let's get this bucket down and start getting some good scoops here. Okay, good. A little bit tight with the turning room. I should really scrape this right wall a little bit, but I think we can get away with it for now. Let's go into the right here, get this teeth angle down.
Start scraping. There we go. A little bit too far down there, but we'll start building in our concrete path here. Take a little chunk out of this left side then. Bucket down, bit of speed. There we go. I think we can get one more load towards the front of that truck there. Okay, let's clean up this right side a little bit. There we go, and lift. Oops. Gonna delete a little bit of this wall as we're coming back here. That's okay, no problem. There we go. And it seems we got plenty of daylight now, so let's go ahead and get those lights off. There we go. That's good. Alright, let's get some concrete passed down here so we're not scooping out a large amount of material that we don't actually need to clear our way here. Okay, that's good. Keep everything going in a straight line. Let's actually open up our map here and see if we're anywhere close to. So I would say we're about a little bit more than halfway to exiting this mountain on this side. So we're definitely making progress. It's good. Alrighty, we need to scrape this floor on the left there. So that's the first bucket we'll do this time. There we go. Take a couple of higher ones, even things out a little bit. Bouncing off that little lip, so we'll come in and get rid of that next time. There we go. Nice big chunk of that. Making a little bit of a mess of that turn there, but that's okay. One more bucket then and we'll be set. Let's go down for a low one here in the middle. Come in with a little bit of speed as usual. Let's got those teeth turned down. There we go, and that is nice. Yeah, starting to get back into more solid rock there, which is good. Maybe we can get one more into the front there. I'm gonna try at least. You know the story by now. Be interesting to see when we get this upgraded rock truck there, how fast it's going to be to fill compared to this one. Because it's only a couple of scoops to fill this one. Now there we go. Let's get through towards the front of this bed then. And ooh, careful, careful. And that is nice. Nice full load there. Alright, we can lay down a little bit more of our path here. Oops, get rid of you. There we go. Alrighty. I'm curious if a full load of gravel like that is worth more than a full load of pay dirt. You would assume so, right? Surely. We're extracting all the different ores out of it there. And I haven't done a clean out on the side of the production there that's dealing with the gravel in quite a while, so we should have a hell of a pay there coming to us there. Whenever I decide that I want to take a look in those storages. Maybe we'll actually use some of those materials for some crafting just to get that XP bar moving a little bit. I'm not actually playing on the beta branch of the game, but I know that a new update has come on the beta, and it is going to hit on the actual live game here probably in the next week or so. They're usually pretty good between beta updates and getting it to the live game here. And there's a couple of high-level new machinery that's been added. The baggers, which is quite a sight. It's absolutely huge piece of equipment. And while the money to get us might not be an issue, the level requirements to attain that certainly is an issue. I guess if I wanted to cheese it, I could just collect gravel and spam gravel quests, but I don't know, that does not seem too fun. You know, all my levels so far have been just through, you know, grinding ore and smelting ignits and building, of course, and however else you accumulate experience in this game. I'm not an expert by any means. Pretty much just playing the game for fun, and I've definitely learnt a lot, I will say. I did consider kind of switching my game to the beta branch and starting all over again with the things that I did learn, but there is still so much, for me at least, to learn. Like, this is my first time using this loader, for example, and it's starting to grow on me a little bit. When I first got into it and tested it out, I was not very impressed at all, but yeah. I guess I was driving the L11 for so long, it took a little bit used to get a little bit of time to get used to this new kind of machinery. It's a little bit more clunky, a little bit slower, but it's moving a hell of a lot of material. So yeah. And it's filling this truck like it's nothing, to be honest. So you gotta enjoy that. Hopefully we don't lose all of this. I feel like I dumped that over the back there, but that's okay. Alright, let's get this dumped out here. Yeah, a little bit of spillage there, but not the end of the world. Okay, and nicely and quickly back into position there. Let me out, please. Thank you. Alrighty, we're gonna have to break out the Anfo here, but let's get a Scooper Mark II here. Let's take some speed into this and try and push back some of that solid rock. Does not want to oblige though. There we go, we can scrape some of this on the way out though. Okay. Alright, let's blast this then real quick. 5 or 6 Anfo there should do the job. Run grid builds, but that's fine. Okay, how's that looking? It's looking good. Scrap from the ground then. There we go. Need to clean up the ceiling in there a little bit. We'll come in for a couple of high ones next maybe. Let's see if we can scrape some of this. Why am I always doing that? One thing I've learned with this game is that I'm constantly moving the mouse without kind of realizing it. It's extremely obvious when I'm using an excavator. The bucket is constantly opening and closing. There we go. Alright, let's take a nice big scoop off this right hand side. Let's straighten her out, get that bucket down and come in with some speed. There we go. Not exactly what I wanted, but it's a full bucket, so I'm gonna take it. Alright, and let's attack the middle here with this final bucket. And we're promoted. Beautiful. Are we getting back into some coal there? Sure looks like it. Let's actually run in there and check what that is. Safe to assume it's coal. Let's get our metal analyzer out here. And it is indeed coal, that's good. That is good indeed. Oops, Mal was doing that. Too anxious to get the bit down. And again, let's go ahead and take you while I have the sledge out. And I think what we're going to do is actually support this roof. So I should have some ceilings here. I do in fact have ceilings. Good. So how is grid building looking on this then? I mean, not too bad. Let's try and make it look as good as we can. I'm kind of fine with some dirt encroaching through the steel mesh itself. It feels like that is a realistic thing. Oops. Hopefully I can actually reach that to get rid of it. Can't. Good. That is a shame. Let's go ahead here and get ourselves a little bit of dynamite to make space here. Yeah, that will have to do. Okay, not too bad. We didn't delete too much there. It still looks reasonable. Missing a little bit there in the corner. Okay, but we can actually snap through there. It's good. Looks like that mesh support is kind of built into that solid rock. I would say that looks reasonable, in my mind at least. Okay, let's get ourselves up here. So you can hear the cave in around me. Not ideal. Okay, so we need to go ahead and actually buy more of those. Those are called ceilings, I believe. There. Go ahead and buy a whole bunch of those. Okay, and we're kind of getting stuck into some coal there, but that's okay. Hopefully we can connect here, and it seems like we can. That's the beautiful thing about the grid builder. You can just, you know, it makes it so much easier. Snap building is fine, and it has its place in the game, but I do enjoy the grid building. It is nice and efficient. Let's turn our guy there so we can actually see overhead us. That's kind of rock is in the way there, but I will try and scrape that with the loader. Yeah, so we have a little bit more work to do on this high side with the loader before we can actually snap there. That's good. Okay. Black magic, kind of, maybe. Alright, if that's that supported for now, I would say we can probably get a couple more in here if we really want to. Oops, that is not where I want that. There we go. And we don't want to go out that way, we're trying to come in to the inside of that there, please, if you would be so kind. No, that's okay, we'll get that next time, no problem whatsoever. How's that looking there? It looks reasonable, I'm quite happy with that. I'm debating if I'm going to put up a supporting wall here. I guess I will, but we need to scrape this a little bit and clean it up, I would say. So that's it for today. I'm going to leave it there, and the next day I'm kind of hoping to reach the other side of this mountain here. So let's go ahead and get our last truck of the day dumped off in our facility down there. So I want to thank you for watching. I do appreciate that. I'm Malno. All the best. We'll see you in the next one.